Wanna take this? Introduce me to a scale, I guarantee I break it. Introduce me to a beat, I guarantee I rape it. Earthquake flow, 2012 Doomsday beat. I'm a cool kid, and you are just a stepchild. I am so sci-fi, bringing out the X-Files. Label me the true troublemaker in the booth. There's a hole in my ceiling, cause my swagger through the roof. My swag's all the Richter scale. My swag.
Sound it off. I keep it 99.9, round it off. 12 pack of Bud Light line down the mall. And if I throw a ball at the door, I might drown them all. So y'all haters better prepare for evacuation. I'm feeling myself and I ain't talking masturbation. Duh, I get more cutted than the laceration. And I can't help but ball out like a cancer patient. My swag's all the Richter scale. My swag.
Looking critical, please like a counterfeit. I swag, scaling rich and grow. Swag come with caution, lame, skip around me. Whipping with the league is exactly where you found me. Hell in the game, you the company.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a Woman Wednesday. Thank you for joining your boy. Joining me on the line right now is D. Orlando Ledbetter, beat writer for the Atlanta Falcons for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Bro, Ledbetter, how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well, Brother Stewart. Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. So many things we want to talk to you about. I guess I want to kind of get your reaction, bro, to one of the most sad things I've ever seen in my life, which was the second half of the Super Bowl the other night. I'm sure you were in attendance, man. Like, what was just your raw emotions watching that? Now, I know you're a professional. You're supposed to, be unbiased to a degree, but you are the beat writer for the team, and you follow this team around for many years. Talk about watching that second half of football the other night in the Super Bowl.
Well, they're up 28-3. I start writing my story about Atlanta winning their first championship in the franchise history. And then from that point on, everything just went downhill for the team. Grady Jarrett was having a great game. They were doing enough on offense. Freeman was getting loose. They were finding Julio at the right times. It was, looking like a great day in the Atlanta sports history. But, it just wasn't to be. Several mistakes were made all the way from the top, all the way down. Coach Quinn could have aborted some of those pass calls, and ran the ball. But, he decided to be aggressive and said that's the way they're going to play. So when it doesn't work out, you got to live with it. Devontae Freeman missed a block on a blitz pickup, and got the quarterback killed. They got the onside kick. They're on their 40. New England's 40, pick up 5 yards and you're in Matt Bryant's range. So, just a whole litany of errors, a litany of mistakes. You get then the luck goes their way with the tip pass. It was just a whole lot of things just raced through your head after the game about, how did this happen? Two holding calls on Jake Matthews, your left tackle, top 10 pick in the draft, in the Super Bowl. They didn't finish and, allowed the greatest quarterback of the modern era to lead his team back to victory.
Yeah, talking to D. Orlando Ledbetter on the Doug Stewart Show on Spreaker.com. When the Falcons went up 28-3, they scored the touchdown coming into the third quarter. They went up 28-3. Like, in your mind, because I know in my mind and everybody else's mind it was a wrap. Like, did you think that? Like, did you have any inkling at all that Tom Brady and this Patriots team could mount a comeback and actually win? Maybe they'd score some points, I thought, but there was no point in my mind when they were up 28-3 that they weren't going to win this game. What about you?
No, I thought it was a wrap too. Those flow charts and those algorithm websites and so forth had it at 99.9% at that point. So it just goes to show that it's never really over until it's over. Just never seen a collapse like that. Never.
All right. So a lot of moves have been made over the last couple of days. Kind of shocking, to be honest with you, this quick. And we're talking to D. Orlando Ledbetter on the Doug Stewart Show on Spreaker.com. I want to start off with the biggest story, I guess, to come out of these new hirings and firings. Steve Sarkisian, coming over from the University of Alabama, is now taking the place of Kyle Shanahan as the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. Did you see this coming? What's the relationship between Sarkisian and Coach Dan Quinn that this happened so so
Well, he had been to visit the Falcons, and they're both Pete Carroll and Nick Saban guys. So, when Dan Quinn knows he needs an offensive coordinator, he goes to Pete and Nick, and Steve comes up. They were rehabbing him down in Alabama after his stint at USC. That's kind of the rehab place for fallen coaches now. Lane Kiffin went through it, and Steve was getting ready to go through it and go into his first season calling the ball down there. But the fact that he knows the Falcons' offense and they don't have to change the terminology made him a comfortable pick for Quinn, even though he's never called a play in the NFL. So, it's a reach like that. I'm sure there were more qualified, better candidates out there that they didn't look or vet, but, coaches hire the guys they know. And that's what Coach Quinn did here.
Okay, you said something very important just now, and that's one of the big questions I had. And I'm going to talk about Mike LaFleur here in a second, the quarterbacks coach that's supposedly going to be out and be the offensive coordinator for Los Angeles. But that was my big concern. Matt Ryan finally clicked under the Kyle Shanahan offense in the second year. He won the league MVP. I didn't think that you should break up that continuity and that stability. So from what you understand, Steve Sarkisian knows the same plays and will use the same terminology as Shanahan did?
Yes, and he ran it out in USC, on the big college level. It comes directly from Norm Trial and the BYU system. So, Steve played at BYU as a quarterback. So it's not something he has to pick up. It's something he's been ingrained throughout his career as a player and a coach. He ran it at Washington too. So that's what made him a better candidate than Chip Kelly. Chip would have had to come in and learn the system, much like Dirk Cutter did when he replaced Mike Mularkey. He came in and Matt Ryan basically taught him the system, and they rode to a NFC Championship game like that. So it's not uncommon for that to happen. But in this case, they'll be on the same page. They'll just have to make sure that they are calling everything the same way.
Okay, it made a lot of sense to me to just go ahead and give that job to Mike LaFleur, who was the quarterback's coach this year. And obviously being under Shanahan for 2 years, he knew the terminology and the plays, I would assume, like the back of his hand. We're finding out now that he's set to be, and I don't think it's been confirmed yet, to be the offensive coordinator of the Rams. Was there any real consideration in keeping him for the job?
No, Sarkisian was better candidate than Matt because Matt never called any plays at any level. So at least Sarkisian has called plays in college as the head coach at USC. There was some track record there. And he also was on the headset with Jimmy Ray and North Turner in Oakland in 2004. So Matt wasn't a serious candidate to be the OC for the Falcons.
Wow. Finishing up with D. Orlando Ledbetter on the Doug Stewart Show on Spreaker.com. All right, so we find out this morning that Richard Smith, the defensive coordinator, will be reassigned to some degree. I don't understand what that means. And Brian Cox is out as defensive line coach. Now, listen, we've been very critical of the Falcons all year long, and that being the one weak part of the team, the defense. But if you watch the games, and I'm sure you did, I'm not talking to you, but anybody that watched the games know that this defense really played great the second half of the season throughout the playoffs. They got a lot of output from the defensive linemen, Rashid Hageman and Grady Jarrett, and obviously Vic Beasley. Why Brian Cox out? Why Richard Smith out?
Yeah, Richard Smith may come back in an advisory capacity, but he's looking at his options. But B. Cox and Richard Smith is out. Heck, Grady Jarrett had a great game. Hageman came on, but I understood that Coach Quinn took over some of the play calling after the bye week. So the final 6 games and down the stretch, he started putting more of his imprint on the defense. But I mean, when you decide to play 8 rookies and second-year guys, you know they're going to be mistakes.
Right.
I don't care if Vince Lombardi's coaching them. So I think the coaches were made scapegoats. They say it was not for the Super Bowl collapse. B. Cox, maybe his coaching style didn't sit well with Vic Beasley and Hageman, and the coaches are going to decide to move forward with the players and maybe get a softer, gentler approach on the defensive line. But I feel it's reasonable to say or conclude that because things didn't go the way they were planned, somebody had to take some hits, and then Cox and Smith got served up to be fired here. But they had a difficult job in playing 8 rookies and 2 second-year guys. I thought they'd done enough to warrant them standing around and having some continuity with that group. So. We'll hear more from Coach Dan about the firing. Hopefully he'll be more forthcoming about that. But I feel, we got calls in to Coach Smith and Coach Cox. Perhaps they will explain, their situations for the fans because I don't feel that they deserve to be fired. But I know, Mr. Blank, when things don't go well, in business, if you don't sell enough hammers, the hammer guys got to go.
Right.
And they didn't get the job done on defense, so somebody had to go.
All right, finishing up with D'Orlando Ledbetter. Last thing, bro. I mean, you follow this team year-round. That's a tough L. That's a tough pill to swallow the other night. A lot of young guys, a lot of, I guess, fragile-minded guys that played on that team. They did so much this year. To lose the way that they did, How easy or how well do you think they can recover coming into next year after what happened in Super Bowl 51?
I think the tight end, I talked to, several of those guys yesterday during the locker room clean out. But, Dion, Campbell, they were talking about how long the seasons were. And Devondre wants to get well. But I thought Austin Hooper, the tight end, was, had the best response. He said he's never going to forget that day. He's never going to forget that game. And as he moves forward in his career, it's going to be something that'll stick with him and drive him. So, I think that might be the best way to deal with it, is to keep it with you and carry it in the battle with you every single Sunday. And maybe that's going to make you a better warrior and a better player that can finish in the tough situation.
Man, great stuff, D'Orlando Ledbetter. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Doug. Thanks for having me.
There he is, D'Orlando Ledbetter on the Doug Stewart Show. Okay, so we do confirm a couple of things, man. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We do confirm a couple of things, man. The big thing I took out of that is one, for the most part, Steve Sarkisian is going to use the same terminology and run the same scheme as Shanahan did in the previous 2 years. So that should be good. And also, the second thing is somebody mentioned